Here's Superboooyyy 131. Main story I was looking for was the Krypto joins the Dog Legionnaires. This art is attributed to George Papp, and the writer is supposedly Otto Binder, but there's nothing in this book that says he was the writer. This is what I found online. But there is a Space Canine Patrol Agents, the S.C.P.A. And I'm assuming this was a take on the man from U.N.C.L.E., the dog from S.C.P.A. But you got Tusky Husky, Hot Dog, Tail Terrier, and Bulldog. In the story, Superboooyyy, the Legionnaire statues flash. Superboooyyy goes to the future. Krypto thinks he's going with him, and he finds out that Superboooyyy is going to go alone, and Krypto's got to patrol space, which he's not too happy about. While in space, Krypto sees this giant, what he thinks is a balloon. He even mentions Thanksgiving Day parade in space. And then this missile flies through and impales the dog. And Krypto realizes that that blimp is alive. There's a dog that's wounded. He's Mammoth Mutt, and he explains he's a member of the Canine Patrol. He has the ability to gulp air and inflate like a balloon. And then he explains about these dog crooks in the Canine Caper Gang, and his other agents were captured. And Krypto, he must have died. Krypto gives him a decent burial and flies off. And then here we see a world of dog humanoids. And they've adopted the English language on another planet. And you have these criminals here loading up dog bones, dinosaur bones, into the fortress named Fido Fortress. Krypto puts on his disguise. And he goes in, and he ends up getting, they release a doggy sore. Shouldn't happen to a human, okay. And then we have the doggy start getting dizzy and crashing. And then they attack him, beat him up, and then they throw him in with the other dogs, and this is just what he wanted to be brought there. And then from there, they have a stick of gum they just happen to have. And then he announces that he's Krypto, and they've heard of him. And they introduce themselves. The Tail Terrier can stretch out his elastic tail like a rope. Tusky Husky can turn one of his teeth into a long tusk for prying things open. You have Chameleon Collie, which can turn into a fork-tailed cat, a feathered bear, and a monster blob. And of course, great house ad. And then there's Hot Dog, who can heat up like a furnace. Bulldog, who can become a bull-headed and horned. And Paul Pooch, who could turn into a many-legged centipede canine. But Krypto cannot break through the wall. Feels like he lost his powers. So he sees the drain pipe. And they get Husky, his tooth going to cut through the floor. And they put the tail over. And they are going to, I guess, use them like a drill bit. Yep. They all yank on the tail. And they get out through the pipe. And it alerts the jailers. And of course they have a bone booby trap just in case. And the bones are filled with explosives. And Krypto can hear them talking with his super hearing. And Chameleon Collie changes into a giant dinosaur. And then the other dogs stop to see all those dinosaur bones. And then Krypto reveals that he was using his X-ray vision, I guess, to make a fluoroscopic image of the bones. Yeah. And then he blows the bones up. And then they all run out, but Hot Dog rolls underneath their feet. Bulldog charges them and stabs them in the butt. And Paul Pooch becomes a many-legged centipedic dog. You kick him. And he knocks the gum out of his mouth. And Krypto realizes that the gum that they just happen to have just happens to have a pinch of kryptonite in it, which is making him weak. What a plot convenience. Then he starts wagging his tail to throw rocks at them. They retreat back into the prison. He makes them promise to take them to a new world. And Krypto tells them to seal themselves up in their castle, and he'll pull them through space. He's going to bring them somewhere that's free of those S.C.P.A. dog agents. And where does he take them to? He takes them to a planet of cats. And these cats are the S.C.P.A. of this world, but they're the Space Cat Patrol agents. And Krypto tells me, you only asked me to get you in a world of free of the dog agents. And you have Powerpuss, Crab Tabby, and Atomic Tom. And Krypto comes back, so does Superboooyyy from his adventure in the future with the Legionnaires. I wonder if he ever did have any more adventures with these characters this day only time, or if DC was looking to make that a normal feature. There's the Muscle ad, and then a really cool old G.I. Joe ad. And the back cover. Daisy Rifle. Thanks for watching.